Happy Friday, guys. Thank you so much for checking out another book review Friday. Today's book review is insane. It is insane. We are going to be talking about The Fifth Risk by Michael Lewis. Guys, this book, seriously, I recommend you pick it up. I know I say this, I've been saying this for the past couple of weeks now, but this book is really good. It is not a business book, it is more of a political book, or how it talks about the Trump administration when it was getting into in 2016, when they were transitioning into basically Donald Trump becoming president of the United States. Now, this was something that I heard about. People were saying this is such an awesome book, like you should pick this up. And I bought it a couple of months ago, and this was, again, something I was like, man, do I really want to read this? This could be some political jargon. I don't really care too much about it. It's not going to be too interesting. But it was. This author is insane. He's written some amazing books before this. The Big Short, if you've seen the movie, the book was awesome as well. And Moneyball, all these great books. And I just gotta say, his writing style made this book so entertaining. I literally couldn't stop. I couldn't put it down. It was so good. And I don't want to get political on this channel or with this video, but this does talk about Donald Trump. It portrays him in a bad light, per se, or it shows the different things that it sort of takes to become president, and what was so different with his presidency and this transition period. Again, I'm not, if you like Trump, if you don't like Trump, that's not what I'm trying to get here. I'm just trying to show you guys that whether you do or not, it's great to have more information and learn so much more, because it's not just a hate on Trump or anything like that. It is how the government works. It goes through different departments of the government that literally you don't know what they do. There's, I believe it's the Department of Commerce, or one of those departments. They control the weather. They find data on weather, and that data and the weather reports are getting more and more accurate because of that department. But no one talks about it. No one realizes how much impact the government has on our lives and on helping and making sure that we stay safe. There's so many things that go wrong, but because of the government and because of the spending that we have and the budgets that we have, we're able to keep our people safe. So this was such an awesome book. There's a couple things I wrote down which I really want to talk about with you guys today, because they're so interesting. I mean, the whole book, there's so many, there's like, basically there's three different parts to it. Each one has a specific department and a specific person that talks about his experience with how he got into the job, what the department does, and then how they were shocked by the Trump administration and shocked by the things that he was doing, either cutting that department down or just having no one to actually transition into. So one thing, Trump appointed for one of the departments the CEO of AccuWeather, Barry Myers. This guy, he runs AccuWeather as a private company, and the book, they just talk about how basically this CEO is in control of the weather data, and this, in this sense, the government is spending billions of dollars on gathering data, storing data, and he is the CEO. And how the ethics point of it is the fact that he owns AccuWeather, and for him to make profits, he needs that data from the government, and he wants to make the government look bad with their data and weather reports. So it was an interesting take. It was an interesting story. Another great thing too was each like I said, each chapter goes through the effects of budget cutting. You would think, oh, why don't we just cut the budget a little bit? Why don't we cut spending here and here and here? But then we realize how much we actually are damaging our economy and our government, our health, our safety, our security, because we're cutting the budgets that we are, because those budgets are actually really important and departments are really important, but they don't seem like they are. So there's one thing I want to read from this book that really is interesting. Again, it's sort of when Donald Trump, the night of or morning of election, when he won and became president-elect, Chris Christie basically was there and talks about how Donald Trump reacted, how Mike Pence reacted. It's a quick little paragraph. I just wanted to read it for you guys, and sort of to see, so you guys have this idea of how this book really acts, and you realize so much about, oh wow, like they didn't do this or they didn't do that. So Chris Christie was sitting on a sofa beside Donald Trump when Pennsylvania was finally called. It was 1:30 5 in the morning, but that wasn't the only reason the feelings in the room were odd. It was odd. Good movie here. Mike Pence went to kiss his wife, Karen, and she turned away from him. You got what you wanted, Mike. Now leave me alone. She wouldn't so much as say hello to Trump. Trump himself just stared at the tube without saying anything, like a man with a pair of twos whose bluff was being called. His campaign hadn't even bothered to prepare an accurate acceptance speech. It wasn't hard to see why Trump hadn't seen the point in preparing to take over the federal government. Why study for a test you'll never need to take? Why take the risk of discovering you might, at your very best, be a C student? This was the real part of becoming president of the United States, and Christie thought it scared the crap out of the president-elect. So that one paragraph is just so, when you read the whole scenario and everything that happens, you realize that, oh my God, like, when Trump was elected, he really wasn't ready and prepared and expected, and the next steps were for him to prepare for a transition team. And during the time before Obama stepped down and Trump went to office, he was supposed to build up his team of transition periods of people that would then go into each department, and the department of each one would go ahead, and the employees would file and prepare reports, prepare everything, offices, everything. Like, people literally spent hours cleaning, preparing, setting up food, and then no one called, no one came into the departments, no one showed up for a very long time. Weeks on end, months on end, people were like, what the hell is President Trump's transition team? Where's the people that he wants to work? Where's the people that should be going to this department learning more? And the people that did go to some of the departments literally came in for a couple of minutes, asked a couple of questions, and left. They didn't take any notes. They came, one person just came in, not a whole team. And it was scary for a lot of people because they didn't understand. There's people that came in and they were like, we're not going to use the word climate change anymore. Get rid of that altogether. Again, it was crazy. It's an interesting book because it shows you the back end of what it takes to become president of the United States, the transition, like things that the reason I like this book is not because it attacked Donald Trump or it portrayed Donald Trump in a different light. Yes, that was good. It was a great part of it. But the reason I recommend this book to anyone, literally, if you like Trump, don't like Trump, the reason I picked this book and the reason I want to talk about this book, even though it's not related to anything business, is because it gives you a better perspective of how the government is structured, what the different government departments do, and how important the government is, and how important the president's transition period and all this stuff is important to making sure that everything's running smooth. And it was really eye-opening to me personally, because I never thought and I never understood the government the way that was talked about in this book, The Fifth Risk. I can't stress enough, if you're interested at all in politics, in government, in understanding how our government works, this is the time to sit down and read this book. It's such a great book, and his writing style is so engaging. He talks about boring government stuff, and he makes it so interesting that you can't stop reading. Like, there's books that are just so boring, you're just like, oh my God, like, this is too much history. For me, history and political foreign policy articles they get boring after a while because they constant information. And this one has constant information, but his writing is so good that he literally, this one guy that actually says here, John Williams from New York Times Book Review, he quotes here, I would read an 800-page history of the stapler if he wrote it. I mean, honestly, Michael Lewis, he's insane for the quality of work that he puts in and he does. So it was such an awesome book. So proud to be able to read this book to understand better of how there's so many risks involved to cutting down the government. With that being said, though, guys, hopefully you enjoyed this book review. Please check this book out. Let me know what you thought, if you've read it before, or if you just thought this was interesting, or you just want ask a question or add a comment, anything like that. Leave a comment down below. Like this video if you like this. Share this video with your friends and family. Let's build this channel. Follow Mech Nation on Facebook. Subscribe to David Mechura on YouTube. And I'll catch you guys in another one of my videos. Peace out.